What is going on, people? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well. It's currently Sunday night, Sunday 26th of July. It is approaching 8 p.m. It's been a long day. I've spent all day pretty much. Went out this morning, did some shopping so I can get some meal preps done, and cooked it. To be fair, I finished it a while ago, but clean up and stuff, and then I was just chilling. But yeah, I'm tired. But yeah, just thought I'd come on because I told you in the last video that I was working towards understanding what I wanted to achieve by the end of Project 1% and what life looks like after 1 year of incremental improvements day by day, right? And I'd mentioned that I'd nailed down my health and career goals. Okay, so I just wanted to share those initially while I work out the others. So what it looks like is basically for each one there's a kind of long-term goal. So let's say life in 3 to 5 years. That's then broken down into 12 months. And then it's then broken down into 12 weeks. Because again, in my last video, I touched on the book, The 12-Week Year. And that's what I'm doing and implementing to try and achieve my goals basically, so that I'm always working towards it and not kind of falling into the trap of annualized thinking, which is setting a goal a year from now and then not doing anything about it for the first 3 6 months and then thinking, oh sugar, I've got 3 months left, let me try and cram everything now that in these last 3 months I wanted to cram in the last 9, right, or over the course of the 12 months. So for health and career, I've now done the long-term vision, 12-month vision, what the next 12 weeks I want to look like, and then in turn what the steps and the non-negotiables that I will have over the next 12 months basically. And so I just wanted to share those basically, right? So forgive me, I'm just gonna read what I've put down. But so long-term vision, health, I'm noticeably leaner, stronger, and more athletic. My stomach is significantly flatter. I feel confident in my body and I can move freely without struggling to get down to the floor or back up again. I'm not gonna lie to you, not that like I'm a old man getting up, but like sometimes I think to myself, right, I'm 34, like it should be easier for me to get up. And now I know some of you know what I'm talking about. I built a sustainable training routine that combines strength, cardiovascular fitness, and mobility. I train consistently, can comfortably run 5K, although I probably want that to be 10K because I plan to do 3 10Ks a week kind of going forward outside of any training for any runs or anything that I'm doing. And I'm rebuilding towards becoming a genuine hybrid athlete rather than only training for appearance. I eat in a way that supports fat loss, performance, and energy without constantly starting and stopping. I sleep better, recover properly, and feel physically capable in everyday life. Most importantly, I have become someone who keeps promises to himself around his health. Training isn't something I force myself to do, it is simply part of who I am. I have built habits that I can sustain for life rather than relying on short bursts of motivation. Okay. And then for career, I've said I consistently exceed my sales targets and I'm recognized as one of the strongest account executives in the business. I have become the go-to person for product knowledge and sales best practice, and I'm trusted to coach and develop others. I've either been promoted into a management role or I'm the obvious choice for the next opportunity. Alongside my day job, I consistently document and share what I'm learning, building a reputation for helping other people improve. Most importantly, I genuinely enjoy my work because I'm continually learning, improving, and making an impact. So the health one's a bit obvious, that's fine. The career one, maybe I'll provide a bit more context. So if you don't know, I currently work as an account executive in tech sales. I'm all about continual development. It's probably the Project 1% will probably make it clear, if not already. But also I'm all about, I love helping people, okay? And I genuinely, and again, I touched on this in one of my previous videos, but I genuinely believe I've been put on this earth to make an impact on people, okay? And so from a career perspective, this is more so 12 months and long-term vision. But from a career perspective, yeah, that's kind of where I see things being. So yeah, so that's kind of the 12 months. Then we will break that down into, oh yeah, I've also got identity statements, okay, for each of these pillars, if you like, of my life. So health, the health one is, I'm someone who takes care of his body, trains consistently, and keeps the health promises he makes to himself. And career, I'm becoming a trusted product expert, an exceptional salesperson, and a leader that others naturally want to follow. So I've also said, so that you're aware, for the 12 months, right, what success in kind of measurable terms will look like for me from a health perspective is reduce body fat substantially. So for now, I've got kind of 15% as an initial destination. Reach a healthy body weight that reflects visible fat loss while preserving muscle. Train 4 times a week on average across the year. Again, kind of running a comfortable 5-10K and improving my cardiovascular fitness. Complete regular mobility work. So completing regular mobility work and maintain at least 85% execution of your planned weekly health actions, which I'm going to come on to very shortly. So in terms of what the 12 weeks will look like, it's reduce my weight. So at the moment, guys, I weighed myself on Monday. So again, it's Sunday. I weighed myself on Monday. I was 118, guys. So maybe you've got an idea as to how quickly my weight goes up and down, basically, depending on what I'm doing. So 12-week goal is to get down to about 108, so lose about 10 kg. I measured my waist as well. It's 115 centimeters, which was about 45 inches, I think. So get that to under 105. It says complete 48 strength sessions. That's on average for a week. Then 85% completion. So in terms of the non-negotiables, weekly non-negotiables that I'll be sticking to, and so by this time next week, I'll reflect back to you and let you know how I got on with these. But I've got 10 non-negotiables for health. So those are complete 4 strength training sessions every week. So this week I'm going to complete 4 strength training sessions, complete 2 runs, complete 2 additional cardio sessions, stay within your calorie target for at least 6 days, complete 2 mobility sessions. I need to work out what mobility sessions I'm doing this week actually, but complete 2 mobility sessions. Record my weight and waist every Monday. Complete my Sunday review and weekly plan, which is what I'm doing now, for example, for this week, but we're starting from, let's say, Monday. Track your sleep every night and review your weekly average. Never miss 2 planned workouts in a row and keep the health promises that I make to myself. Okay? So that's that. So after this, I need to sit down and work out what mobility sessions I'm actually going to do. So that is for health. And then for career, my 12-week focus is I have a deep understanding of the products that we sell. So because I work in health tech, a lot of what we sell have quite technical, clinical kind of context behind them, if that makes sense. And so I want to have a deep understanding of these things and so that I can have far better conversations with some of the clinicians that I might sell to, for example. So having a deep understanding of our products, including their clinical context, practical application and limitations. Colleagues seek me out to answer product questions and I communicate clearly and confidently with every type of practice staff member, tailoring my explanations to their needs. So the goal, so that's kind of focus. The goal is by the end of the 12 weeks, I'm recognized as one of the team's go-to people for product knowledge, and I have created at least one high-quality product playbook that helps current and future team members understand the products, position it effectively, and handle common customer questions and objections. So with that, it's not just about kind of saying to myself, oh, people are coming to me for help and asking me questions because I know stuff, but also imparting that knowledge into a document that can kind of act as my legacy as and when the time comes that I depart from this business, right? Because as I say, I'm all about impact, and so that's one tangible way in which I feel I can make an impact. And if I can create something that kind of the playbook for each, because at the moment we sell 3 and very, very, very soon to be 4 products. If I can create, ideally for each over time, but for now, at the end of these 12 weeks, if I can create one kind of playbook that goes, okay, this is what the product is, this is exactly how it works, this is how you sell it, these are the features, these are the benefits, these are the questions there's common questions that we get asked. These are the common objections that you have to handle, even through to onboarding, because as part of my role at this company in particular, we have to onboard the practices as well, and sometimes just go through the whole flow so that somebody new joining can really just open that document, and for the most part, any question they get asked by somebody could just go to that as opposed to having to either ask somebody else. Don't get me wrong, within a team, there's nobody that's going to shut somebody down for asking a question, but more so somebody has a bit more agency around their ability to develop and answer questions when they're asked and stuff like that, right? And finding out the answers to questions that they may have. I definitely feel that that's one way in which I can have an impact. And so in terms of my non-negotiables, so my weekly non-negotiables is going to be watch at least one product demo each week. Because one thing I'm finding is that for a long time, you're never going to know all of the answers. Okay. And well, particularly where I'm, because there isn't something like what I've just described. Um, a lot of what you learn is just through questions you're asked when you're on a demo, or if you watch somebody else's demo. But every demo is, no two demos are going to be the same. And so people are going to be asked different questions, right? And so the more demos you watch or take part in, the more you're going to be exposed to the plethora of questions that we could get asked out there, right? And so I plan to watch at least one product demo each week, particularly of the products that well, there's one product in particular that I'm not particularly comfortable selling. Out of the three, the fourth one we're not quite selling just yet, but out of the three, there's one product in particular I'm not too comfortable selling. So maybe I'll start with that one. I've put here, spend at least 1 hour each week learning from products engineering or clinical colleagues. I might put that down to half an hour because an hour is quite a long time of their time. But yeah, the idea is just kind of getting into their heads and understanding the mind frame they were in when they were building the products, right? Read and understand every product's release note and published. Read and understand every product's release note published that week. So again, that's just understanding kind of new features and what's changed. Test at least one feature or workflow in the product each week. I need to think about that a bit more because I'm not sure how realistic that is. And spend one focus session each week understanding competitors, the landscape of primary care here and NHS and GP practices, and the challenges that they have as well. So again, all geared to just a deeper understanding of the environmental world that I'm in right now and the products that I'm selling. So yeah, that will give you an idea for health and career as to what the goals are and what I'm looking to work towards. So I definitely feel a lot more confident in executing the plans going forward now and just not necessarily winging it as I feel like I had been up until this point. And then from there, obviously, as I said, there's a few other pillars of life. So, for example, relationships, business, personal brand slash content, if you like, that I will touch on as well. But I'll do that over the course of the week. I'm not going to pressure myself to kind of rush to get it done just so I can put out a video, for example. No, not at all. But also, I think career and health are two of the, if not, well, two of the biggest aspects of my life right now, if you like. So I think it's only fair that I have done those ones first, so that I've really got my North Star on those. Because I think once you've got those two in place, I think people may disagree, but once you've got those two in place, I feel like everything else falls in as well. Because they're probably two of the biggest stresses that you'll ever have in your life. Because if your health isn't there, boy, you're stressed. You get what I mean? And if obviously you haven't got a job or your career's not necessarily firing, then again, you're going to be very stressed, right? So yeah, that's where we're at. I'll leave it there, and obviously I'll update you once I get my other pillars done as well. Wish me luck, guys.